everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan, and today I'm going to be discussing the movie 40 Dates and 40 Nights. So let's get into it. I thought this movie was really cute. When I first started watching it, it has this soft-spoken, deadpan, like comedy vibe to it. And so I normally don't like that type of comedy, but it had me chuckling at the very beginning. Like every time she talks slow, especially to the guy, I think like where she's sitting on the bed and he's in the bathroom, like she was just like questioning him about, his things. She's like, really? But she says it in a soft voice, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. And even the way she interacts with her friend, like everything is like that soft spoken, dry sense of humor, comedy, like sarcasm and everything like that, and it just kind of kept going. I feel Leah was pretty unlikable in the beginning because she's just so cynical, and you kind of see that on the dates that she has. I feel like she didn't treat the guys very well, but it really showed her personality with like drinking a lot of the wine, like the sarcasm, the deadpan, the comedy. And so for me, it just like kind of was a turn off, and I was just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to believe that this girl is a catch for, potential love interest that she has down the line, who she's going to end up with. So I was really worried while her going through these dates, especially when, Mason really challenged her in the conversation or really was intrigued to learn more. And I feel like she didn't give him the time of day. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking about your family, whether you have siblings, parents, what your relationship dynamic is like. It's like she was afraid to share about her life because she feels like she doesn't really have anything going for herself, because she doesn't have these things or these hobbies where today in society our value and worth is based off what we do for a living, which is just very sad. And so I understand how she feels in those moments, but I wish she leaned in more in these experiences, because I think Mason was just very calm and very warm, and like I said, he was just trying to get to know her. He didn't seem like any judgmental until she had a reason to be that way. And I think Steven made a great point when he decided to, take the wine from away from her and sit down with her and be like, it's okay to have people get to know you. Like, it's okay to show yourself to other people. And also, too, he said, everybody has a thing. And in my mind, it's like, it's about finding that thing. Like, I've been in that situation, too, where you feel like worthless if you are starting out at an entry-level job because maybe you don't know what you want to do or how to advance. And, like, life is all about trial and error. Like, we don't have everything figured out. And it's okay to be at a different pace than someone else. It doesn't make you, inferior to anybody else. It's like, if you're passionate about something that someone else doesn't understand or someone else is not passionate about, like, that's okay. Like, we're all different for a reason. And I just really liked Steven. I thought he was a fantastic character, and I liked how Mason was just trying to get to know her. I don't think she was challenged in any of her other dates, or she, like I said, she just took it as a joke, and I wish she just leaned into it more. But looking at where she ended up in the movie, it doesn't matter. They ended up there, But I was a little worried for her because I'm like, I was like, just lean in, like Gigi says, and Steven. And I think when she started letting go and taking everyone's advice, you see her growth. And that is so cool to see. One of my favorite scenes is her getting called into Bailey's office, and Mason is there, like, leaning against her desk, and she's just like, she's just so frantic and like so nervous to go in there. He's like, you're gonna do great, like, you're gonna do fine, like, just go show him. And she was just so getting happy because she's figuring out maybe this is the next step, or she finds out even from other people that sees that her drawings or her doodles, are good. And whether she thinks or not thinks that she's good, it's about, like, leaning into maybe something that you just casually do, or maybe it's something that's a hobby. That's a thing about hobbies. It's like, people like hobbies because they don't get paid for it. But then other people, if it's a really good hobby and you're good at it, it can be something that you get paid for. And so it's about, I like how it's one of those critical thinking things where you're presented with multiple different choices, but it's up to you to make that choice and to suffer either different consequences or what's going to happen. And so everyone kind of had these tidbits of, you know, what are you going to do? What choices are you going to make? And, you know, she came around in making those choices, you know, showing her boss these photos. And at the end, you know, she kind of sees, she gets promoted from the receptionist to a junior designer. And so you could see like how happy she is. I think she's shocked that she could actually do it. And it's, I don't know, it's so cool to see because I think that's so relatable for different career steps, different chapters in our life. Sometimes we just don't understand that we have it in us to be able to do those things. And sometimes it takes an outside person, like the waiter at the restaurant or Mason that she meets, or even sometimes her friend and her grandma, to like believe in us or give us that little oomph to go do that. And if you try it and don't like it, like that's okay. But it's about putting in that effort and leaning in and trying it. And I'm glad that she did figure it out. So it was basically us being on that journey with her. And I liked the growth. I liked the movie by the time I got towards the end. Was it predictable? Absolutely. Did we know she was going to end up with Mason? Yes, we all knew she was going to end up with Mason. But it was like, how was she going to get there? The thing about her and Mason is that I wish Mason had told her a little bit more directly on how he wanted to date her more, you know, later on as they were starting to get to know each other. Particularly, I love the scene where he falls backwards and he trips over the toolbox and she tries to catch him and they both go down and he leans in for a kiss and she feels it too, but she backs away and they stand up and she puts her hand on her shoulders and she's like, I need to see this through. And he's like, I get it. And I admire her for that because he already knew about the 40 dates and he knew, you know, she was doing it for rent. It was kind of like this joke thing, but she was determined to finish that, and I respect him for respecting that. But I think he knew that she knows how much he likes her, and I think that she knows and he knows that she likes him too, and he was just waiting for her to come around. I wish he would have asked her, like, hey, have you finished it yet? Or anything like that, but maybe he didn't want to, you know, push that boundary. I don't know what the boundary was set for their friendship, but I get that as well. But I just wish he kind of like said sooner, was a little bit more direct, considering he mentioned about his ex-girlfriend not communicating with him about, you know, changing the kitchen around. And he's like, I just wish she could have just came to me about the problem. So I was thinking in my head, I'm like, if you're all about communication, like be more direct with her. But maybe, like I said, maybe there was just a boundary with their friendship where he didn't want to intrude that much. And it just happened to come out when they were right into each other on the sidewalk. And when she said, I can't, I think he, like, got it and didn't really know, like, what else to say. And when she did come towards him at the end, and she said that she felt the same way for a while, was just scared, essentially. Just scared about the people in her life letting her down. And, you know, we see her open up to her grandma about that. Like, I don't want to be like my mom or my parents. And I don't know. I just personally loved the growth of her character. Is it, like, cheesy and predictable? Yeah. But it's nice to see growth on screen. I don't feel like we see much growth with characters that you root for. And the one thing I loved about it is that the people in her life didn't give up on her, even though she, you know, was selfish and cynical. Just like anything in life, sometimes with mistakes, you want people to make them so that they learn. And so that was the beauty of that. It was she made mistakes, and she was learning from them. And those people in her life allowed her to make those mistakes. She made it up with Mason at the end. You know, she apologized in the way by getting him a new shirt and getting to know him, letting him in. Like, it was really cool to see all of that. And that's the thing that I really liked about the movie, was kind of like the journey of the 40 dates and 40 nights, but it's out of that small group of 40 people, she did connect with someone deeply, and she went forth and continued with a friendship that now turned into a relationship, which, to their point at the lunch, was that he mentioned it's about spending time or over time liking someone. And that's kind of what it was. They started with a friendship because they kept running into each other, and then became a relationship. And I liked the end where they were walking on the street, and because they got no picture on their date because he got up and left, they snapped the photo and it freezed at the end of the movie, and I thought that was really cute. I liked that moment. Would I watch it again? I would watch it again, because I really liked the journey of the characters, and I liked everyone in the cast. Like, who wouldn't want Bo Peep as your grandma? Like, there were so many cool guest stars in it. You know, the guy from Ransom Cannon. Sterling Knight made an appearance. He was one of the dates, which I haven't seen him in a very, like, I think the last time I saw him was on Melissa and Joey. But, like, I noticed right away with his, like, his face looks exactly the same. He just had, like, long hair, and he's, like, buffer. But it was, he was so great on the date. It was just so funny. And I'm trying to think who else was in the movie. There were probably a couple other people that I knew in the movie that I can't think of at the moment. But all I could just figure was, Bo Peep is your grandma. Like, that's so cool. That's it for my review on 40 Dates and 40 Nights. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.